I wanted to build this movie star body. I wanted to build like my best body ever. And I started to try things and I started to kind of realize that, wow, this fitness industry is messed up. There's so much bullshit in it. And then I started to do my YouTube videos, started blogging, started sharing stuff, started figuring things out, and my clients started getting really, really, really good results. And I've tracked my workouts for 10, 15 years. I know what works. And then for the most part, like it's the stuff that I've learned that's worked for me has just crushed it for my clients.
Hey guys, JB in the house for the Wolf's Den. The Wolf of Wall Street in the Wolf's Den. Got a great guest tonight. He's too young though. He's fucking pissing me off. He looks too handsome. That's how I used to look in my younger days. Nah, but this guy's a fitness guru, trainer, celebrity, biggest celebrity on the making. He's like on his way up in a big way, right? And he's also from Canada. And which everyone, no one hates it. Think about Canada, no one hates Canada. There's no reason to hate Canada. You cannot like Canada. You can like sort of like be apathetic about it. But how could you hate Canada? There's like an innocuous country, right? So I got Greg O Gallagher. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Nice to meet you, pal.
Good to finally meet you.
Good looking guy, young. You got some good veins going on in your arms. I mean, I got my own, that fucking shit.
You got to stay lean.
I know. So is that the key is staying lean? I think you're right.
Well, so when I came to the fitness industry, I came in teaching people how to build that movie star body. Everyone's talking about gaining muscle, or
Chris Pratt body.
Not somewhat more like Brad Pitt and Troy. And
that's a fucking hell of a body.
Hell of a body. The fundamental difference is it's leanness. It's not like they have that much more muscle. It's that leanness that makes them look good and muscle in the right areas.
Right.
So that's when you look amazing. I could gain 5 pounds of fat and then the physique is off.
Really?
Yeah. So for my shoots and everything, 6.1% is what does the most damage. So
what do you think I should do with my body right now? I'm doing pretty good. Listen, I'm looking for the fountain of middle age here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not done with the fountain of youth here. I'm 57, right? I used to be in great shape. Like when I was a kid, I was like, working out all the time, and really low body fat. I had a 6-pack, 10-pack, whatever it was back then, right? But now, like, I had shoulder surgery. I'm rehabbing, but I'm doing pretty good for 57. What's the solution for me, you think?
Well, the first thing I always ask,
put you on the spot.
No, yeah. Well, it depends what your goals are. I mean, if at your age, like the most important thing is the fact that you got your shoulder fixed is awesome,
right? Because
now you can enjoy life. You can play golf, shoot balls off Dan Bilzerian's house. So that's like the first.
Yesterday, exactly. Yeah, we had a fucking blast yesterday. I was at Dan's house. Yeah. That tennis is my big thing though. Also, yeah.
Got it. Well, I say strength training is super important. So if you're not strength training, you're making a massive mistake. Especially as you get older, that lean body mass, that muscle you have, is going to keep you fit and strong and feeling young.
Also, muscle burns calories, right?
Yeah, muscle has a higher metabolic cost. So that's the first thing is if you got to be strength training.
Okay.
And then the second is your nutrition.
Right.
And what I recommend, I talk about fasting a lot, doing intermittent fasting. It makes getting lean so much easier. So back probably in your days when you were getting fit, you're probably working out like a couple hours a day, eating small little meals, trying to eat healthy, and you weren't able to like fully, unless you're working out like crazy, you're not really able to enjoy really big meals. So what my clients, what I call them the Kino Warriors, what we do is we fast every day and we eat like 2 meals a day, and we can have like steak, potatoes. I'll eat like a Magnum ice cream bar every night while getting leaner. So it's like I have your.
So already I can see that you're not ketoing because you have potatoes, right? So it's not keto.
No.
Okay. What do you think of keto?
For a small percentage of the population, it can work. But there's definitely issues with going keto. I experimented with everything. When I was 20, I did low carb, I did keto, and there's downsides. And one thing is that carbohydrates replenish your muscle glycogen. When you're training, you're lifting, you rely on that glycogen. So if you're a lifter and you go keto, you tend to hit a wall. And when you're very, very, very low carb, carbs help stimulate insulin, which actually used correctly can be a good thing. So when you're very, very low carb, you end up getting higher cortisol levels. Your cortisol levels go up because insulin and cortisol act in opposition. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of get in this kind of stressed state, and then carbs help your brain release more serotonin, which makes you feel really good. Mm-hmm. And so for a lot of people, if you're low carb too long, you can't sleep, your mood doesn't really feel as good. I remember doing low carb And if I watched like a really funny comedy movie, I wouldn't even be laughing.
Right. Well, it's also okay. So you're saying so you have these hormonal feedback loops, right?
Yeah.
So one is insulin glucagon, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when you eat, how does that, by having more carbs, you're increasing the amount of insulin release to control the sugar in your body, right? So the idea is insulin gets released when you eat sugar because it reduces the sugar in your body, right? That's why diabetics who lack insulin can't eat a lot of sugar because it stays in their bloodstream, right? So insulin aids in the process of disposing of the sugar in your blood, correct?
And also the storage hormones is helping your body store those nutrients, right?
Insulin stores?
Like insulin's used in helping store those.
So it turns it into what? Into glycogen? Is that what happens?
Well, the carbs replenish your glycogen. So when you're working out, you're lifting weights.
Right, you're relying on the glycogen. That's like essentially your immediate stores of energy, right? So you have here's the way it goes. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
You have the sugar in your bloodstream in the form of glucose, right? And then when you exhaust that, which is pretty quickly, right? The next thing your muscles turn to is the stored glycogen, right?
Right.
When you deplete glycogen, that's when they call runners hitting the wall. When every bit of glycogen has been depleted from your muscles, correct?
Yeah.
And then what happens? Is that
then you start tapping the body fat,
or
right?
fat or muscle, even, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends, right? Because I know I tried the keto diet and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I lost a lot of weight, but I fucking like carbs.
Yeah. That's, I mean,
is that kind of what you know?
And,
is that part of it too?
And so here's what I tell people, my clients. If you want to get lean, what do you need to do? You have to be in a calorie deficit. And we can't argue that. We have so much research to back it.
And I agree with that, right? Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, oh, no, it's mixing your foods, or I don't believe that, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as if you're trying to cut back on your spending. You know, it's the same thing as just balancing your budget.
All right, just hold that thought. We'll be back in a moment after we hear from our sponsor and pay the bills. All right, guys, Zapier. You know, the first time I told you about this company, Zapier, I was like, I don't really know what they do. And I didn't want to actually endorse it. Then I found that everyone in my company is using it. Zapier is a software program that hooks all things together. It actually allows other apps integrating to function much more elegantly and quickly, all right? It's a great thing, all right? So I want you to check out Zapier. It's the easiest way to essentially automate your work, all right? Connects all your business software together, all right? Allows you to manage data more efficiently, more effectively. It connects your CRM, your spreadsheets. I'm telling you, if you don't know about Zapier, check it out. It's the ultimate tool for integrating different programs. Let me just give you some statistics here. There are over 1,500 business applications. So the possibilities for this are virtually endless, okay? Easy to handle. It's the exact solution you need in minutes without writing any code or asking a developer to help you, right? More than 4.5 million people are using Zapier, and they save an average of 40 hours a month. Powerful stuff. Right now, through November, I want you to try Zapier. How much? Free. How can you turn it down? Going to our special link, Zapier.com/wolf. That's Zapier.com/wolf for your free 14-day trial. Zapier.com/wolf. Support for the Wolf's Den brought to you by Manscaped. You got to love Manscaped. Listen, you know, as guys, you know, in the olden days, you're like, oh, we got to be rough and tumble, not groom ourselves. Girls don't like that. A girl wants to go down on you and get hair between her teeth or something, or like kiss your beard and cut her face. I mean, come on. I mean, right? I don't look gross there for a moment, but I just had to say it the way it is. You want to be clean down there, shaven. You want to, okay, I'll come clean with you. Many, many years ago, I was in college. Once I had some girl gave me crabs, like 40 years. I don't have it now, all right? So to go. It's 40 years ago, right? And I had to use this stuff called Quell Well. I'm telling you, if I had these Manscaped products, not for crabs, but the point is just to make you trim your perfect hair and make everything just right, guys. They have everything. Trimmers, clippers, nails. I mean, you got to check out the line here from Manscaped, all right? This stuff is totally awesome, right? And you get 20% off extra here because of the Wolf, right? You're on the Wolf's Den. And free shipping with the code WOLF at manscaped.com. Trust me, your testicles will thank you 1,000 times over. I promise you that much. Again, I want you to go to manscaped.com, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code WOLF. The safest way to trim your balls and everything else. Since this is a sales-related podcast, let's use sales. I have this equation I talk about. I say it's called energy in, benefits out. Mm-hmm. So when someone's about to make a decision in buying something, their brain instantly calculates it, almost on an unconscious level to some point. It's a mixture of conscious and unconscious. They say, okay, if how much energy I have to expend, which includes all the work I got to do. Let's say it's a toy, for putting like a father putting together my kid's toy, going to the store, buying it, right, and then also unwrapping it, putting it together. Then also the money I spend is stored energy. Like the money's almost like your glycogen, so to speak, right? Because you work hard, you have money in the bank that's stored energy, right? So if the benefits, perceived benefits, when you say the benefits exceed the energy, yeah, it makes sense to do that, right? So it makes sense like a positive equation. So the negative equation would be, I have to expend too much energy and the benefits aren't enough, right? So what you're saying basically is it's kind of a universal law, even like with dieting. If you just fucking eat more shit than you're burning, I don't care what they say, you're gonna gain weight.
You're gonna gain weight, even if it's low carb, even if it's completely low carb.
Right, just somehow
and you can so as you can experiment with this and have like I learned this the hard way. I looked at the research, I failed trying to do everything else, and then I realized ultimately the only thing that matters when you want to get lean is create that calorie deficit. And how you do that is kind of irrelevant. The fundamental key is you create that calorie deficit. You consume enough protein to maintain your muscle because you don't want to lose muscle, obviously. So you have to have enough protein, then you have to do strength training to ensure you maintain muscle. Because once you're dieting, once you're in a low-calorie diet, if you're not strength training, if you don't get enough protein, your body's going to lose muscle. And so that's the key to looking really good, is to strip off fat while maintaining muscle. Right. So again, so then the question is, how do we make eating a calorie deficit as enjoyable as possible? How do we make this effortless? Because everyone wants to get leaner, everyone wants to look better, but very, very few people can stick to it. And so the way that I teach is you fast. And you know what? You can eat carbs, but I tend to gravitate more towards potatoes than pasta and rice because potatoes are far more filling. So it's like a cost analysis. All right, I have 600 calories I can eat for these carbs for my big dinner, or 400. What's going to fill me up the most? So you actually, your brain starts to make your decisions more wisely. As opposed to I can only eat these foods or can't eat that. And low carb can be flawed in the sense that you tend to gravitate to very high calorie foods. Like people will go snack on nuts. They'll eat 600 calories of nuts. And it's a calorie deficit game. And also what we know from research is that going too low in low carb, in men, there's a drop in testosterone. So people think that you just need fat to boost your testosterone. Well, they actually did a study.
Really?
Yeah, they did a study where they had fat was controlled, and they had a high protein group, a low carb group, and they did the inverse. And the higher carb group actually had 30% more testosterone.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, when you're low carb, you tend to be catabolic, and so
your body goes into sort of self-protective mode. So why would you need to have testosterone to increase to reproduce and all that shit, right? So it's sort of a self-preservation mechanism, right?
Yeah, that's
conservation of energy, really.
Yeah, and you know what? Everyone in all this stuff, everyone has slightly different genetics. People respond better to more carbs. People respond better to a little bit lower. So you got to take this with a grain of salt. Because I meet some people that do really well on low carb. But for the vast majority, it's somewhere in the middle. Don't go crazy low carb. Don't go crazy low fat. Eat balanced and find the most enjoyable way to hit those calories. And that's when getting lean is really, really easy.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Well, how did you learn all this stuff? Did you go to school for it? You learn it by picking it up yourself, by reading, by experimenting?
So I was very into fitness as long as I can remember. When I was 6 years old, I had action figures. I wanted to look like that. When I was 10, I was doing push-ups. With my feet up on a chair because I saw my uncle doing it. I was like, this is sick. When I was 13, I lifted a weight. Fitness was just something that just drew me in. Yeah. I was excited when I watched those movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester. And so this was like my passion. And so I learned just from reading books, getting mentors. And then when it came time to, when I was 16, I started working at a gym. When it came time to go to university, I went for 1 year. I didn't even bother learning about that stuff because I was like, that would hold me back. I was just kind of reaching out to the top experts. But really what it came down to was at 19, I wanted to build this movie star body. I wanted to build like my best body ever. And I started to try things and I started to kind of realize that, wow, this fitness industry is messed up. There's so much bullshit in it. Like people have it dead wrong and you hear so many different contradicting things. And so I was kind of like, myself was confused. And I'm like, what do I actually, who's right, who's wrong? And so I started kind of putting it to the test. All right, let's do this low carb for 3 months. Let's see what happens. Let's try this. And you start to kind of screw up a lot. and things aren't working, but then you find something that works. And it's kind of like that Bruce Lee approach. Take that that which works and apply it. And then I started to do my YouTube videos, started blogging, started sharing stuff, started figuring things out, and my clients started getting really, really, really good results. And it was important because the fitness industry, if you ask any of your friends, no one really like especially 5-6 years ago, there were so people thought you had to eat every 2 to 3 hours because your metabolism would crash if you don't. We know that's completely wrong. When I started talking about intermittent fasting in 2011, most people were like, this is the worst thing you can do. Now, everyone has a friend that's doing intermittent fasting. You go anywhere, there's someone doing it. It's gotten very common. So to answer your question, I just, it was my own like self-study and then putting it to the test and trying to get the result for myself. And I've tracked my workouts for 10, 15 years. I know what works. And then when I've worked with all my clients, we have 300,000 people on one of my programs right now. I get that feedback and I start to tweak it. But for the most part, like the stuff that I've learned that's worked for me has just crushed it for my clients.
So let me ask you guys, there's a lot of people out there that are proficient at what you do. There's a lot of talented trainers out there, people that help people build a certain type of body. But you stuck out. I think the interesting thing of your story is, I mean, let's face it, right? You know your shit. But a lot of people know their shit, right? Just a lot of people. There's a lot of people with knowledge that have done the work, that have figured something out. But for some reason, you were able to take that and make it into a really thriving enterprise, turn yourself into a celebrity on the rise, leverage that and make it. So what do you think that is? Now, I mean, and you're a good-looking guy, but there's a lot of good-looking people in the world. And frankly, you're not a hot chick, so you can't flash your tits and ass on Instagram. That's not going to get you followers. You built it up by doing something, and you got great abs, but lots of people got great abs, right? What is it that makes you special? Because, yeah, you get results, right? But would you agree that a lot of people get results, right? There's something about you, a charisma you have, a relatability, a way to bring your message to market. And I think that's the important thing. I'm not trying to take away from what you do. I believe you're great at what you do, but you're not the only one. But like in any industry, there's a lot of great people, but there's some people that succeed more than others. Why do you succeed? Do you understand the question?
Yes, a lot of things come to mind, but
you think it's a fair question, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I thought this would come first. I thought this would come early. No, but so one.
Oh, first I want to know about my own body. No.
Yeah. So I mean, the fitness industry it is extremely saturated. Everyone wants to get in the fitness industry, be an influencer, sell a program. But the reality is that not too many of them were that passionate from day one, from 6 that put in all these years. Some of them may, but some of them kind of just do it because they want to. But the reason I stand out is because in 2011, 2012, I did something different.
Tell me.
I created what I wanted for myself. So there's so many different fitness people talking about losing weight, getting huge, bodybuilding, training for athletics, functional training. And I came in and I said, that's not what you want. What you want is you want to look like a movie star. You want to look like Brad Pitt in Troy when he takes his shirt off. And you don't want to spend every waking minute thinking about this, eating every 2 to 3 hours. You can't go out with your friends. You can't take a girl out on a date. We're going to do this getting strong in the gym 3 days per week. We're going to put muscle on the right places. We're not going to do that workout because we're going to focus more on our upper chest, our shoulders. And I did something that the market wanted. People responded like, holy, like this, yeah, like, why am I doing this workout? This is what I want. I want to look like a movie star. And then I gave them the deliverables. Here's how we do it. We're doing fasting. You're going to fast for the first 5-6 hours a day. You're not eating anything. I'm going to show you how you actually fit in those foods you love. The French fries. I'm going to go out, hang out with a beautiful girl. I'm going to have an old fashioned. This is the lifestyle I'm going to show you how to do. And to be honest, I don't see anyone else doing that to that extent. And I will market myself in that way. Like I'll stay on market. Like in those last 10 years, have I shifted from doing, now I'm low carb, now I'm high carb, now I'm doing fasting, I'm not. I've stuck to my guns. So there's consistency there. People trust. So if you can go back through all my videos, even my buddy Nick that's here with us, he found this interview I did on this TV show thing, and I said the same thing.
Yeah. All right, just hold that thought. We'll be back in a minute. I want to pay the bills. All right, guys. One of my favorites here, Vincero watches, right? Just listen, a picture speaks 1,000 words. I want to take this out of the box. Look how beautiful this is, right? This is your Vincero watch. Honestly, this is so well made. It feels so great on your wrist. Now, listen, there was a time way back like 200 years ago, 50 years ago, 70 years ago, where before they really perfected these type of watches with the movement, right? That, yeah, you had to pay 10 grand for like an amazing watch. This keeps as good a time as like on the space shuttle. That's how powerful the technology is, right? It looks great. It feels great. How much do you think a watch like this costs? $5,000, $3,000, $10,000? Few $100s. How about that? I mean, that's a deal and a half. They have all different types. I mean, they have leather, metal, different colors. I'm really telling you, I really love this company. What they've done is they just made a beautiful product that feels good on you, that works perfectly, and they just made it so ridiculously full. You want to get like 5 of these. Honestly, 1 for every day of the week, of the work week, at least. Maybe 7 of them, all right? Let me give you the particulars here, okay, for Vincero, right? Exclusively for listeners of this podcast, Vincero is giving you 15% off your purchase. How about that, right? Go to VinceroWatches.com, use the code WOLF, and save an extra 15%. That's VinceroWatches.com/WOLF, 15% off. Seriously, just go to the website and just look at it. You will be blown away. The watches are gorgeous, and they feel great and work great.
And so I've stuck to the same thing, and everyone else in the fitness industry, for the most part, they're flip-floppers. Now they're talking about intervals. Now they're talking about this, and I've stuck to it. And I've delivered results for my clients. So I'm posting these crazy transformations where people in 3, 4, 5, 6 months, they're skinny fat. They look like they have bad genetics. And then after 6 months, they look like they're ready for the movie screen. Mm-hmm. So the transformations, it's the offer, the Hollywood body with the lifestyle. And then we've marketed it really, really well. I started investing in an amazing film director. We made these really cool cinematic videos to just crush through when no one else was investing in themselves.
What year was this?
This was 2015. We did this Bruce Wayne style video where one of my favorite movies is American Psycho, and I kind of took that inner monologue and then gave it that
good movie.
Yeah, good movie. So we did that video, which, you know what? It could have been a risk. It could have made no money. When I met my film director, he said, I don't know if it's going to work. I put some money into it, and it blew the business up.
So let me stop you. So in other words, okay. So the idea is you came out with a very powerful sort of message to market, right? Which is basically get the Hollywood body.
Yeah.
So you cut through all the noise, almost like Trump, make America great again.
Yeah.
You can love him or hate him, but you have to say it's a hell of a tagline, right? All right. So was that something that happened right away, or you tried a bunch of other different things and didn't quite? I mean, you had some success, and then when you really hit on that, it took off. Because I understand there's 2 parts to this, right? Mm-hmm. There's the workout side, there's the regimens, there's the advice you give, and then there's the marketing, and they're independent from one another. You know what I'm saying? In other words, so it sounds to me like that your regimens and protocols have remained constant. And were they constant before that point?
So to answer that question about was this the first thing I landed on, or I try everything else? The reality is that this was pretty much the first thing I landed on. But it wasn't. I wasn't trying to find out what do people want, what's going to sell, what offer is going to work. I was focused on what do I want. If I was in this fitness industry, like, who do I want to follow? What protocol do I want to follow? So it happened very authentically and organically. I was like, this is what I want. And I started sharing that. And that's what took off. So I did, like, it wasn't like I tried tons of different offers, but as I started to figure out what part of my brand people were responding to, that's when I honed in on it. So I didn't really use the Hollywood body as much. And I'm like, and as I started to figure out what really people responded to, then over the years, I got very much more dialed in on my messaging.
Got it. So you started getting traction. You just kept kind of slight improvements, evolve from.
Yeah. And like in the beginning, I would just kind of dance around. I'm like, oh, so what's Kinobody? And I wouldn't really know how to answer that question. Well, we do like intermittent fasting, and we work out, and we do this and this. And then my buddy Nick, who's here with me, he said, Greg, you build the Hollywood body, you work out 3 days per week, and you get to eat amazing meals. That's what you do. And I was like, duh.
All right, let's get specific here. So 3 days a week, how long is each workout?
About an hour.
Okay, and tell me what kind of workout is it. Give me an example of what the workout consists of.
So the concept is, if you want to build a great body, you got to get stronger in key lifts. If you're my client and I do your breakdown, I'm like, okay, you know what? You're doing 155 or maybe 185 incline press. We want to get that up to 205. We want to get up your weighted pull-ups. And so you pick about 5 exercises, and I do reverse pyramid training. So after you warm up, you do that first set with a heavier weight for about 4 to 6 reps. That's your personal record set. Every workout, we either want to add a couple reps, and then the next workout will add a bit of weight. And that's what is going to allow your body to change. And with my clients that are 45, 50, we'll take it a bit slower. Maybe we'll work in a bit higher reps. And then the second set, we'll drop the weight. We'll get a few more reps. And training in this style, it just makes the most sense, because when you are doing that really challenging weight, you want to go into it when you're relatively fresh. If you've already done like 5 sets and you're exhausted, you're training on your potential. If you're training on your potential, you're gonna limit your growth. But crazy enough, when you do that first heavy set, if you were to do a weight you can do for 6, 7 reps and it's tough, then you drop the weight, and then that next set feels a lot lighter. You're like, whoa, this is really easy. And it's because doing that heavy weight first, it actually activates your central nervous system. Your body has to recruit more muscle fibers, and you maintain that state for your second set. Just the same reason, if you pick up 50-pound dumbbells, curl them, then when you go and grab 35s, they feel oddly light. And so what happens is the more muscle fibers you recruit, the more muscle growth you can trigger. So that's the bulk of my training, reverse pyramid. And then we use rest pause training to help add more size to the shoulders, because you can't go heavy on lateral raises. So there's a little loophole where if you were to do a weight that you can do 15 times, your body's only using maximum muscle fiber recruitment for the last few reps. So when you do high rep sets, a lot of that effort's wasted, because it's only those last few your body has to really kick in. But if you do a heavy weight that's for 6 reps, from the very first rep, your body's going. But let's say you do 15 reps, rest 10 seconds, and you can only do 5, but your body still uses all that muscle. So it's more efficiency.
So it's always about pushing it towards exhaustion, right? Maxing out the fiber, the fiber.
Yeah,
right?
getting. Yeah, that's a very big part of it. Yeah.
And what about, like, I think one of the things I've always noticed with guys, and I'm guilty of this too, is that, is when you're working out, you want to work out in your chest and bis and tries and things people see if you take your shirt off, right? But versus you ignore the back and legs. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, well, it's what we know from research is that the strongest sign of physical attraction in men is the shoulder to the waist, and a big part of that is your back. Your back is what actually produces broader shoulders. It's the lats, and so weighted pull. So if you actually if you care about looking good, you really want to emphasize your back. Otherwise, you'll have like narrow shoulders.
Like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. So weighted pull.
He's got a good body, but he is unusually. I actually love Tom Cruise, but I always notice, like, as much as I like him, he gets ripped, but he's got very narrow shoulders. Right?
I haven't seen him in person.
No, on TV.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at his body, it's unusual that, because he's really in great shape, great actor. And I didn't mean that in a bad way, because I like him, but he's got very narrow shoulders. Yeah. And I always wondered about that. It's probably just genetic, right? So you're saying that you got to build up your back
if he gets up to like 80-pound pull-ups, he'll be broader. I have to stop doing, I have to chill on my weighted pull-ups because the back gets too broad, and then you can't wear a normal jacket.
Yeah, I have really broad. I had very broad shoulders.
Yeah, but there is a genetic component for sure. But then and of course every program should be balanced. You got to work every muscle group. In my programs, we focus a bit more on the shoulders, the upper chest, because that gives you a really good looking physique.
Upper chest, so incline presses.
Incline, exactly. But yeah, you want to work your whole body.
That's what I mean is recovering from injury. So I had my disastrous shoulder decade of where I went through 5 surgeries on this shoulder. Mm-hmm. Which the 5th and final one was the glove cleaner. It was the cut off the bone, put a metal ball on, full replacement. And
what made your injury really? Tennis, just overuse, just slipped
massive.
up.
I played high level tennis with guys that were top players in the world.
Damn.
Like top, ranked on the tour, like played Federer, right? 2 hours a day for 6 years straight. And I just blew and I kept blowing it out again and again. And then I found a guy in Germany, this amazing doctor, the guy who treated Kobe Bryant. His name's Dr. Peter Welling. Any of you people having pain, go to Germany. If you have muscle-related or inflammation-related pain, go to this guy, Peter Welling. It's a miracle. And what he does is he has this process called regimen, which is also available here in the States in Santa Monica, by the way. I get it done here sometimes as well. With Dr. Chris Renner, and it's in right in 20th Street in Santa Monica. But what they do is they take out, it's not PRP, platelet plasma, right? They take your blood out and they take it out, but there's beads, these glass beads inside the syringe, and it tricks your blood into thinking there's an infection, the beads, right? And they cook it in an incubator, right? Mm-hmm. And the blood goes into overdrive, manufacturing all these different chemicals, healing factors, inflammation factors. In other words, the body's way of healing typically is to cause massive inflammation, right? So the body sends out these molecules, right? That's called interleukin, right? Interleukin is the first in the chain of all these different proteins, short chain protein polypeptides that actually cause the muscles to dilate. Water, I mean, the blood plasma can come in and bring all the healing factors. That's how your body heals, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that while it's really good for the first week, the body isn't quite as efficient at removing the inflammation. So what happens is at a certain point, it becomes pain for pain's sake. Your body's inflamed, but it doesn't, you get it? It's just like, and it gets in this loop, right? So what he figured out was by doing this with the beads, he can get your own blood to develop all these different healing factors, interleukin, but also your body also develops what's called interleukin blocking agent, an interleukin agonist, but in much smaller quantities. So you have both, but they weigh a different amount. They don't weigh the same. So what he does is he gets your blood to make massive amounts of these healing factors, growth factors, interleukin blocking agent. He then spins it in a centrifuge. So the interleukin, the bad stuff, settles down like it's heaviest. It goes to the bottom. He then scoops the other stuff, the good stuff, up and puts it in and injects it back into your body. And it's the most shocking thing you've ever seen. I went to him the first shoulder surgery I went to when I really blew it. I had 3 parts of the cuff that were destroyed, right? I had it rebuilt. And after the surgery, I could not get the use back. It just was like, it wasn't frozen, but it was just really painful, right? I went to the guy and my range of motion was like here.
Jeez.
I couldn't lift a 2-pound weight, right? I went to the guy, flew to Germany. He took my blood. You have to wait like 24 hours till he cooks it. Go back the next day, about 2:00 in the afternoon, he injects me. I'm at dinner, 8 p.m. Fucking healed.
Holy shit.
It was the craziest.
Did you even need the shoulder surgery?
No, I need no.
Okay,
yeah. So yes, you do, because if there's something what it won't do is it won't fix something that's mechanically wrong with your shoulder. Like if your super spinous is hanging off the side, or it's torn, right, or your cuff is. Well, there's no cuff. So what happened with me eventually? So this worked so well. And then I went back to tennis, and I abused it for 18 months, and it wears off like after 18 months, and then I go back for another injection, and then I blew it out like 2 or 3 more times after that, right? And finally,
still playing tennis?
Now I am again. Well, after this, so finally, what happened was I won through all of the cartilage. I had no cartilage, zero. I was playing tennis the last 6 months. I was playing. The bone wasn't even in the socket.
Jeez.
The bone, my bone had migrated to the outside of my socket, and my bicep tendon had swung around. Human body's an amazing thing. It compensated by swinging the tendon around, so I was able to walk around for like a year with a dislocated shoulder and play tennis. I couldn't serve though. Eventually, though, it's like I'd be walking, it'd pop out, and I couldn't move it, and then it popped back in. Finally, it got so bad it got to me I couldn't lift it, and I called Welling again, Dr. Welling. I sent him MRIs. He goes, no good. It's all over. Game over. You got to get it replaced now. So I went in, got the whole thing replaced, and I went under. They took a saw. They saw off the top of your humerus.
Yeah.
All right. They screw in a chrome ball. They take out the diseased, disgusting. They shave it down. They put a Dacron, I think, cup in there. And I woke up, and like it felt pretty good the day I woke up because I was having numbed out.
So the moral of the story is don't play tennis.
I'll tell you the moral of the story. The moral of the story is I think that everything in moderation is good. I have a way of always abusing everything I do. I take things to an extreme. I probably shouldn't have played 2 hours a day, maybe, and I should have taken it every other day, which is kind of like.
What are you abusing now? What's your pick a point? What's your obsession?
My obsession, my brain. I'm abusing my own mind right now. Mental abuse right now. No, I started playing. So yesterday I went to Dan Bilzerian's house.
Yeah.
Danny's an awesome dude. Really, I didn't know him before. I met him, and he's a really nice guy. I
met him once in Toronto like 5 years ago.
But I mean, I realized I spent the afternoon with him. What a really nice, smart guy. Very funny. We had a good day. We just laughing and joking around. Then we just started hitting golf balls. He's got a little golf ball thing hitting me into we have like an open field there, right? And I was like, I don't know if I could do this. He goes, well, give it a shot, right? And he's a terrible golfer, but it's the funniest thing. He said, Dan, you need golf lessons, okay? Anyway, he was dying. He hit one ball into his own window, cracked his window. And by the way, I admit, I sculled 2 balls too, all right? But we had fun. Anyway, we did that. It was cool. And now, so I had the surgery February 14th, Valentine's Day. It was a great Valentine's Day. And I would say now it's pretty much, it's like 95% healed. The only problem is, maybe you can help me with this, is that I'm so fucking weak. I'm like as weak as an 11-year-old girl right now in terms of my ability to, when it comes to like, okay, I was really, like, you know how much I could bench press when I was young? You wouldn't believe it.
How old?
21.
How much do you weigh?
I weighed 185, 190.
You're doing like 275?
400 pounds.
400?
Yeah, 400. Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
405 or 400.
Plus 400 before 25. Yeah, huge.
Jesus.
I could squat almost 550.
Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
And everyone who knows me knows this. You go for my college days, you all know how insane. I was taking steroids. I was massive that people would, I mean, I was so, I'm not that, I'm 5'7". It was ridiculous. But I did that because somehow you get into this warped thing where you look in the mirror and you think that's what looks good, right? But anyway, so it took me years to slim down from that, right? But now I went to bench press post shoulder surgery, right? And I started with a 45-pound bar, right? Did 15 reps. Went to what's that? That's me as an adult though. That's when
you're
40.
like 30. That's when you're 40.
40. Let me see. Yeah, 45. Yeah, 45.
There's no photos from 21.
We have maybe some old ones.
Yeah.
I got to find some. Anyway, but when I was so that was when I really slimmed down from when I was huge when I was in my 20s, right? My late teens, early 20s. So anyway, I tried to do it. So I did 65 for 12, went to 85, couldn't get it off could not lift the one rep at 85
pounds.
Yep.
It's like 2 tons aside.
Yeah.
Damn.
Couldn't do it. My shoulder.
But it's a shoulder limitation.
My shoulder. I couldn't. No way. Couldn't do it. It couldn't bear the weight, Even when I do, like, I have dumbbells on in my other house. So I have 20-pound dumbbells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not heavy. I can now do 12 curls with this one. But like 12 curls, the last one's like, all right, and this one's like, they're not there. But I actually look. I have But so it's not like it's something like the muscles aren't firing or something. I don't know what it is. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'll just preface and say injury is not my area of specialty. I leave that to the experts,
therapists, physical.
Yeah, I've had good success myself, my own elbow with muscle activation technique, but. Your body is so responsive. So, you got.
I'm doing well. Listen, I'm in my 50s, and I'll make I think I'll make a full recovery.
And in 85, right after a complete shoulder surgery is like start there, and then the question isn't if you do 85 and you can't get past that for 2 months, then there's an issue. But if your body is adapting and you're up to 105, and I think that's going to happen. Just take your time, be slow. But the issue with tennis is that like. You have your racket and you just get in that whiplash right on the elbow joint, the shoulder joint, and it's not very good for your joints.
I think repetitive anything, right? Like repetitive stress, whether it's carpal tunnel from typing on a computer or swinging a racket. I also think a lot of it comes from mechanically swinging the wrong way. I think like if you swing, listen, some pros do get injuries as well, but I think in the early days I wasn't quite swinging. Let me ask you a question. So how did you start the actual marketing? So it's about the marketing of your brand, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, what's your primary mode of getting your message out there? Is it Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? What is it that you do what drives your business, or is it a combination?
Yeah, it's shifted over the years. Instagram is a good source of our traffic. It works better in waves. Like if we're doing a big launch, than just but paid traffic. We do a lot of paid traffic on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google. I like paid traffic a lot because you're in control. Like if you can get that ROI, you start scaling up. Whereas trying to carve an audience out on YouTube, it was very doable in 2012, 2014. Now a lot of these platforms it's very hard to master growth on them because they're pretty saturated.
Give me an example, like
if someone is listening, they want to start a YouTube channel today. It's hard. There's no clear path to getting to 100,000 subscribers.
By the way, I just started my YouTube channel like a few months ago.
What are you at? You're at
200,000 about.
That's good.
But I just started. But I mean, I can understand. It's different for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. Like, that's when all these years I didn't have a YouTube channel, and like I just said, I might as well have a YouTube channel. I think I got that plaque the other day from them. Like, and we got that plaque at 100, but we blew past. Now we're almost 200,000 today. And I'm hoping to get to 1 million by 6 more months.
Yeah. So your model is.
For me, it's different. I mean, so I would never listen, guys. I'm not going to say that you can use I teach you stuff that you can use that you can't use unless you could have Leo DiCaprio play you in a movie, right? It's probably not.
But even if it does work, even if you can grow on YouTube, this and that, you're not fully in control. As if, okay, you know what, we're gonna spend $300,000 on paid traffic because we know we're gonna make $500,000. So
here's the problem I see with YouTube, at least for me, is that in terms of paid traffic, I don't enjoy watching those videos interrupt when I click on something. I find it really offensive. I don't like that. I mean, when I watch something when I go to YouTube, I cannot think of one single time that I actually saw that and say, fuck. I'm almost either I'll turn it off, I'll lower the volume, or click as soon as I skip ad, skip ad. Yet, many times on Facebook or Instagram, if something catches my eye, I will click on it because it doesn't offend me. So there's something about YouTube. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, funny.
Am I a rare bird?
Well, right now we're more profitable on YouTube. On YouTube paid traffic, but I agree. When I see YouTube ads, I never buy.
I wonder why that. But like, if you're the same as me, right? But like, no, like I mean, maybe. So I was wondering if you knew, is there some type of ads that work better? I mean, I guess if the ads are, listen, I think if the ads are congruent with what you wanted to see, but it just seems like it just seems really forced. I'll tell you what, I'm not as against when I watch it and they stop it in the middle and make me watch something for 30 seconds. Really? I don't like that either, but I will say that I understand everyone's got to make money, and I get that, right? It's just something about like, fuck, I want to see something. I click on it. Let me see it. I just want to see
the Jordan. I want to see the Jordan BlueChew ads.
I like that.
Yeah, your ads, I like watching them. I'm like, damn. I'm like,
well, you don't know that I took a BlueChew before this podcast. This is started. I can lift this fucking table if taking BlueChew. No, BlueChew's one of my sponsors, and the thing I love about BlueChew is because it gives you erections that can knock down a crack house door. Now you're getting BlueChew. I'm giving you free fucking advertising here. I'm going to make them pay me for that, okay? No, because I think it's a great drug, especially for an ex-cocaine addict, because the biggest problem is when I used to do coke all the time, right, back in the days, is like I'd be doing all this coke and I'd be in a terrible, coke made me into an evil person, like I just couldn't keep my pants up, and it was always with hookers mostly, and like you couldn't get hard from it because there's so much, it's very hard to get hard on coke, right. Hard to get hard on coke, right? But and they didn't have Viagra back then.
That was in the 80s, right?
Yeah, in the 80s. Yeah, I'm sober a long time, but they didn't have Viagra back then. But if that now, man, what a fucking antidote that is to coke dick. So that's why I always had a special place in my heart for BlueChew, yeah. And I think it's
bring it back to the 80s.
I think it's a cool thing, Now BlueChew, if you can make Quaaludes also and send me those in the mail, then we really, are in business, But no, and the reason why I'll tell you, no, and now that's interesting.
The Quaaludes like $10,000 or something.
I haven't been around for so long, but let me tell you another thing about BlueChew. I purposely, when I do these podcasts, I have commercials because I'm entitled to make money, right? But the reason I make them funny and I go over the top is I figure people want to at least laugh. So I want it to be like sort of like a fun thing that when I make, some people say I like the commercials as much as the podcast, right? So that's why I take, and it's a pain in the ass sometimes because sometimes like I don't feel like being funny or talking about like not just BlueChew's easy. Well, like
that's sick. I figured that out for me on my Instagram to keep the engagement high, to keep people watching my stories so I can sell. You have to be a little bit crazy or funny. Be silly.
Exactly. People want to laugh. They want. I believe people learn better when they laugh. They listen more. They engage better. Right. So whenever so I try to bring some humor. Or I'll do or I'll over the top sell like something. You know what I mean?
When I was promoting our pre-workout Kinobody, has 6,000 milligrams of L-citrulline. That's the legal dose. They call L-citrulline the natural Viagra because it's a vasodilator. It gets more blood flow. It's not as powerful as the Viagra, but it's like the next best thing. And so I was taking my Kinobody and I was getting that effect. And so I was joking on my Instagram about, hey guys, I don't know if you've been taking the Kinobody, you might notice that there's a benefit downstairs. And I was getting all this feedback, and I was posting these screenshots, being like, "Holy shit! Like my girlfriend's going crazy," and my sales blew up. They blew. That's a good offer.
Do you have a girlfriend now?
No, single.
You're single.
Single, yeah.
All you women, okay, you should be on Skinny Confidential's podcast because that's where the women are. I love this. I have this couple of husband and wife team. I'm friends and they have a great podcast called Skinny Confidential. yeah, you'd be perfect. I'm gonna actually call them. But so you're single. What did you have a girlfriend? I'm single too.
Do
you know that we're both single?
I just found out.
I just became single.
We'll have to go out.
I know we have to go out.
Yeah.
You listen, I'm a little bit old.
We're gonna go
I
out.
look pretty good for my age, though, man.
I like being single.
Darker room for me, you know. They can't tell, you know.
What was that?
I need a darker room. They can't tell how old I am. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. In LA, you're better off being 40 plus than.
I'm not worried about. But dude, so you in a relationship?
I've had a few relationships. Most of them being pretty short, but
What's the longest one?
1 year. Okay. 1 year. Yeah. No.
How old are you?
I'm 28. 28. Yeah. I don't know. It's like relationships don't see like. I'm really focused on my business. I'm still young. Like I will think about a relationship when I'm actually set on starting something serious. As far as having kids and a family. But until then, like I don't see the point.
Do you spend a lot of times your boys, the guy, even you guys are all good friends, you hang out all the time together?
Yeah, I spend most of my time working on my business with my buddies, my friends, going out, and if I meet a girl I really like, we'll hang out and everything. But
do you live alone or you live with your friends? Or?
I live in Toronto. I have a condo there, yeah.
By yourself or? By
myself, and then actually I spend a lot of time at my family house. We have a nice family house in Toronto.
Awesome.
That's the Bruce Wayne house.
Did you get that thing up there? That video?
The Bruce.
Let's watch that video.
Is it up here? Yeah. So this is what we.
Put volume on.
My name is Gregory O Gallagher, and I'm 24 years old.
So you didn't grow up poor?
No.
I believe in taking care of myself, in maintaining a lean and powerful body, and striving each day for self-improvement.
Total takeoff on
American Psycho, yeah.
I use these face creams every day.
Even though I've just woken up, I won't eat for 8 hours. This increases fat mobilization, boosts mental alertness, and has profound health benefits.
There's a good spoof on this too.
Totally.
Yeah.
To blunt my hunger, I'll drink sparkling water. 2 to 3 hours later, I'll drink black coffee, a very powerful appetite suppressant. Intermittent fasting has been the most powerful health discovery I have ever made. It has made staying lean and building muscle effortless. It's boosted my work productivity, and it's given me the freedom to eat like a king every day. I simply feel
she's a friend of mine.
Fantastic. If it happens to be a workout day, I'll hit the gym hard. I only lift 3 times per week. This maximizes muscular and neural recovery and provides the fastest rate of strength gain. I believe in honing your training down to the essential movements that create the perfect physique, and then becoming really strong at them. For my key movements, I always perform the heaviest set first, followed by 2 progressively lighter sets with full rest periods. This style of training allows me to come into the gym stronger each and every session. Since I was 6 years old, I wanted to crack the code to building an amazing body that was strong, powerful, and awe-inspiring. I'm 24, and I can honestly say, without a shred of doubt, I've cracked that code. And since sharing it, it's unlocked the limitless potential of the thousands of people who are following it daily. My name is Gregory O Gallagher. It's time for you to unleash your potential.
Like that.
Yeah, that was.
I think it's great.
Thank you.
Really well done.
Thank you. That was in 2000.
Who wrote the script?
Mike and I worked on it. I fleshed out what I wanted to hit, and then he helped make it more, give it a cinematic appeal.
Now show me. Go Google the opening. Google the sequence to American
Psycho.
American Psycho. I want to see. Let's see how just close this is. It's great. That's really well done. I got to tell you. I mean, I can totally get it. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
You know, I like when I see something like that. That's really, yeah, that's it. Morning routine. That's it. Really smart, pal. I'm really proud. I'm really happy for you. Proud is condescending. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Deserve it. Success.
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, in a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack when I'm doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now.
We actually had a butt shot in the real video, but YouTube wouldn't allow it, so we had to get rid of the butt shot.
After I remove the ice pack, I use a deep pore cleanser lotion. In the shower, I use a water-activated gel cleanser. Then a honey almond body scrub. And on the face, an exfoliating gel scrub.
So classic.
Yeah.
Then I apply an herb mint facial mask, which I leave on for 10 minutes while I prepare the rest of my routine. I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol, because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look older. Then moisturizer, then an anti-aging eye balm followed by final moisturizing
so
protective lotion.
Who does this shit?
There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman. Some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
That's great.
Yeah. So like part of the mindset was like, these movies have the best people in the world come up with these ideas. So let's adapt the idea they have.
Right. The Wolf's got so many people caught. I mean, we just had one guy do a dating thing for the Wolf. Have you seen that thing?
No.
The dating parody in Wolf of Wall Street where a guy uses the telemarketing scene
Oh.
for the Stevie something or other.
Okay. You know, I haven't
It's
seen that.
really funny. And then there's so many. I mean, there's cows who are walking down the stairs and this and that. Right? No, so it's very smart.
We did the stair shot for an ad once.
You did
the down the stairs. Yeah.
I take 23
the walk
of
and
these,
talk.
14 of those. Yeah. So tell me, what year did you release that?
2015.
Okay. And the impact?
So at that point, my business, we did not do any paid traffic. We're doing about $100,000 a month in mostly profit, 80 to 100. And then we released that video, and there was a nice spike. But once we started doing paid
Profit from what? What are you selling?
my workout programs,
Okay.
a warrior shred, Greek god. I had a simple funnel. I did a lot of YouTube content, and I told people, take my physique quiz, find your body type. And then I did like a 6-minute video where they felt like I was speaking to them, because I'm like, okay, you're skinny fat here, you know, and I explained their problem, their frustrations, why they failed in the past, and here's how we fix it. That was the business model. And then once we started advertising on YouTube, we're going from like 3K a day, 4K a day to like 16K with a few K spend. So it was like, and that worked really, really well for a couple months. And then everyone and their mother saw the video, and then we were like, hey, you know, then we had to do the next thing. But then this put me on the map, the entire fitness industry. They were all talking about it. This Bruce Wayne video, there was a lot of people like loved it, but there was a lot of hate.
And how much do you charge for the programs?
It's about 49 to, it depends. Now we're going to be selling it with the supplements about, 49 to 79. Yeah.
Monthly or just once?
Once.
Once.
So yeah, that was been the issue with my business model is that you get thousands of people buying these programs, and then you hit a certain point when then you kind of you kind of plateau, right?
Right. So the question is also, what do you do next? And so the idea is, right, and this is very typical for someone that's, well, let's just say, I wouldn't say you're an internet marketer, but you're internet marketing based on your expertise, right?
Yeah.
So
this is the free business coaching part.
I'm going to give you free business coaching. Ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty obvious here, right? What to do next. So you have all these people that come in, and that's, I wouldn't quite call it a tripwire offer, but it's a very low price offer, right? So obviously these people will come in, right? Some people won't even use the fucking thing because they're so lazy, but many people hopefully will, right? They get good results. What did you sell them? Did you sell them something next?
Yeah, I probably left a ton of money on the table for a long time. But at the point I didn't care. I was 24, I was making way more than I wanted to. And I just love the fact people were getting such good results. But the next thing has been, we developed a few supplements to enhance people's experience in the programs, Keno Octane. And so that's something that people will take every month.
My point is, so what, in other words, did you ever consider picking up the telephone and calling the people who bought from you and trying to sell them that way?
No.
Okay. So what the really successful, all the major league guys are out there that are doing well, because they come to, they come to me, right? For training for this, right? Is that you have these people, right? That they pay $49, and maybe they'll even pay $89. Maybe they'll go even an auto ship program with your vitamins, or because they need to use it again and again, right? But if you were to actually call them up on the phone and offer them a free strategy session, coaching session, where you say, listen, let me tell you, you actually have them fill out a questionnaire first, a bit about them, and then have it's a free session there. And then you could either offer them A, coaching, B, a much higher price program. Like a lot of people go for a $2,000 program.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is there a minimum price option that works for phone sales?
No, that's the point. No, there's no max. You could sell a $100,000 program. In other words, the point is that you're typically capped out online to like, so you could sell a $1,000 product. I do. I sell a product for $24.95 online. But it's not that most people are not going to buy that much. They'll buy, but if I've had times where I was experimenting with doing, price sensitivity. So I had a program that was, let's say, $19.95, and I get 500 people a day to buy it. Right. And very profitably. Right. But the money that you make on that pales in comparison. So what you do is that if you go back to those people, right, and then later on, I was in the process of developing a really powerful program.
The real money is made in the high ticket.
Well, I wouldn't look at it as high. Don't look at a high ticket, because don't look at it as like, how do I make more money? Is how do you give more value to people? You got to reverse it. I made that mistake when I was very young. How do I make more money? It's not the question I asked myself. It's how do I charge them more?
Right.
In other words, I look at it. If I have something that's so great, that's so awesome. Okay, $49 is not much money. You're worth more than $49. I know you are. You're a talented guy. You're on the way. So the question, more importantly, is what could you offer someone that, let's say, would cost them $1,000 a month? But that when they were done with it, they'd say, "Fuck, I would have paid $10,000." That's the way you start. Don't look and say, "How much can I get from them online?" Say, "What could I develop that would be so great that if I charged $1,000 or $200 or $200 a month, they would say, damn, I that guy. Wow, I love that guy because he gives so much value." See, that's what my model now is. Whatever I charge, it's not so much like I'm not trying to max out my pricing. I'm trying to say, I max out pricing only from sensitivity, how many people will sign up. It's never about trying to max out to get away with giving less value. You understand? The paradigm is that the value is to greatly exceed what you charge if you want to build a sustainable business model. Or else you'll be another one of these idiots, and they're all over the place. You see them, they come and they go. You can rip people off and charge $3,000 for fucking shit.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
I hate that. We all do, right? Now people are getting wise to that, right? My model's the opposite, okay? If you go to my website, my member site, all you will see is people saying, and Lisa, this is the greatest investment I've ever made in my entire life, on and on and on. Yeah, I could have charged more for it. And they probably still would have said that because because it's sales, so it's a big upswing. If you take someone who can't close or is closing at 20% and even bump them to 35%, it's life changing for them, right? But the point is, you can't look at it. So I want you to ask the question you guys should ask yourself as a company is not how much can we charge them. It's that, like, what can we give people that if we charge, let's say it was $1,000, let's say the numbers, the next obvious spot's $1,000. $1,000, 2,000, under 2,000. What could I create that people would just walk away saying, I would have paid 10 grand?
Yeah, I love this. And also, you know, in my entire history building my company, the more I've spent on how do I how do I make it, how do I transform this person? What can I give them? That's
you
when
get rich anyway. You don't have to worry about it.
That's like,
you don't worry about getting rich. The mistake I made when I was in my 20s is I didn't think that way. I thought about how do I make more? How do I make more? And if I would have put it the other, how do I give my customers more value? I'd have made billions more. So for you, it's that question. And then what it's about is training a few people. That's what people use my system, is to train people how to pick up a telephone. That's what you see those guys downstairs doing.
Pick up the telephone.
Right? And they call up and say, hey, Bill, how you do? If you recall, you requested a free strategy session. Listen, you know, if you got 60 seconds, we can go through it right now. They say, great. Okay, great. A couple of quick questions. I see that you said X, Y, Z. Great. Okay, well, based on what you said, here's what I recommend. And you'll find that if they loved your first product, and the biggest problem, I'll tell you flat out, the biggest problem you're going to find is people that are financially qualified. In other words, because when you go in with a low tripwire $49 offer, and then you try to bump up to $2,000, they're all going to want it. Every single person we call wants my product because they love it. They've used it, and it's just great. It's fucking great. Nothing even in the world is closer. If they don't buy it, it's because they don't have the money. So what I teach my people to do, and you should do also as well when you get schooled in this, is that you don't want to be talking to people who can't afford it. A, because it's a waste of your time. Most importantly, it's the worst thing you do to someone else. If you build them up, you tell them, I program this, that.
Yeah.
But you can't afford it. It's not nice to someone else. You don't want to, so you want to weed those people out who are not financially qualified, right? I promise you, if you do that, you will add a zero onto your income and give massive amount of value to people in the process. That's my free business coaching for today.
It's here. I got it.
Hopefully next time you come back on my podcast next time, you'll tell me, fuck, I have 8 guys on the phone working for me. And it's not how much you make, but you're going to be successful whatever you do. So tell me about your upbringing. It sounds like you came from a wealthy family.
Yeah. My father, Michael O Gallagher, he built a real estate company in Canada, Metcap. And we sold it after he passed away when I was 11. But it was it was the biggest privately owned real estate company in Canada. And my mom, she's a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, obviously, like, his passing was really hard on me. And
how old you were 11?
11. And he was like,
my dad just passed a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I know, he was 88. So it's like not a tragedy, but with you, it's just a tragedy. How did he die?
Leukemia, cancer. And so yeah, but like that shook me up big time, and it kind of made me really like more like, driven.
So you were in what, fifth grade, sixth grade?
I think
sixth grade, right?
Yeah.
Was there like how long was the mourning period for that? Something like that. If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah,
was it something that was a really tough year, or did it really were you still I would assume like anything else, as depressed as you could be about something, after a while you move on and you become a new version of who you are. It changes you.
Yep.
It will always change you, right? But you become productive again. How long did it take till you really
it's hard to say. Like, even the first week, all my family were all together, and that helped a lot. We have this big house, cousins, uncles. I bonded so much with my family. So yes, you're crushing like crazy. But I don't. It's hard to say the moment. Like, I've been for the last few years, I've been like totally fine. Like, it's about appreciation. I appreciate the time that I had with my father. I appreciate everything he was able to provide us. I appreciate the fact that, I'm like his son by blood.
Yeah.
And so, I think that when you make that shift away from, like, I hate the saying, like, what if this, like, it's a negative, dark hole. So like, it's probably, probably took a few years to kind of just for things to feel normal.
Did your mom ever remarry?
She kind of remarried without the marriage title, and then that ended, and then she's kind of seeing someone now, but it's been like a very slow progression over 3 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
What were the things were there certain things that your dad taught you that you saw him just simply when you were young that sort of made you the man you are today? And tell me what those are.
Yeah. It was, if you want something, like, you can get it. It was just unbelievable, unshakable self-belief. All right, Gregor, you want to go on the hockey team? We're going to do it. Like, there was no doubt in the mind, whatever it is that you want, if you're going to work for it, you're going to get it. And like, work really, really hard. so it was like that very unshakable self-belief. But he also taught me to be really humble to everyone, to the staff, cab drivers, just be really grounded, because he came from a poor background, and so he didn't like any of that snobbiness. And he said, those are the main things. There's a lot more, but for him, it's like every time like things were really, really bad, that's when he like was comfortable. He was like,
that was my dad too.
Really? Yeah.
He sweated the small stuff, my dad, but there was no one better in a crisis.
Good.
No one better in a crisis.
Yeah. He just, like, his mindset was like, when things are really, really bad, it just means that things are going to get so good. His favorite quote was, every adversity has a seed of an equal or greater benefit, and like, make no small plans, a tattoo I have, just go. So he just thought so big, thought really big. He started off with no money, and he got investors, and he started buying $100 million just building an $800 million real estate portfolio. So he's just thinking really big, like crazy big. I'm sure he had other people in his company that were kind of balancing that, but that was him. He just, just don't settle, just go to the top. And so that, like, even though I was 11, just being around for that, like, definitely had a influence.
Did you ever, as an adult, like when you became successful, did you ever feel like he was watching you and that like he'd be proud of you? Like, did it ever occur to you? And not really. You be honest. A couple moments. Like, it's that it takes a certain headspace to get into for that, but a couple moments. Yeah. He would be really fucking proud of you.
Thank you, man.
He really would be, because I just can sense what type of guy your dad was. Probably a lot like me in some respects. And when you watch, my greatest hope is for my children to all do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're going out there, you're putting yourself out there. You're going to have your successes, your failures, ups and downs, but you're going for it and you're not making any small plans. Where are you going? What's your next stop, other than hopefully going and starting to do some telemarketing? Listen, just remember one thing. Let me give you some advice with telemarketing. Buy my book, no, and my course, no. The advice is just make sure you guys don't do any exaggerating. You can be so mellow, no pressure. Just do a classy telemarketing operation that's congruent with your brand,
Yeah.
And I promise you will make so much money from this, more than you know what to do with, and then you can give back and go from there. Tell me what's next for you besides that.
Yeah. Well, the next step is I've built the program, the supplements help people build this amazing body. So we're working on a clothing line that really fits that physique type. So you build the shoulders, you got the slim waist. What shirt are you going to put on? And we've got some samples. I've had people wear it, and they get attention like nothing else. But it's effortless. It's not try hard. So the clothing line, and then I have I'm 28. Later in my 30s, I want to get into some film producing, stuff like that. Perhaps we'll see. My two passions have always been fitness, film. For the most part, yeah.
Well, buddy, my money is on you. Congratulations, you're an inspiring young guy, and you're doing it right. And anything you want to say directly to the audience before we go? You want to give them a quick 30, 60 seconds that you want to say?
Which camera?
This one's
right
fine.
here, right here.
Either one. This one's fine. This one.
If you guys want to build a Hollywood body, work out 3 days per week, get in crazy shape. And if you're not on the BlueChew, but you want the next best thing and you want to get crazy workouts, Keno Octane, it's crazy. You'll feel amazing. Smooth energy, no crash.
And your body will look so good, even if your dick is this big and can't get hard. Girls will still love you. But the best advice would be that if that's the case, that's what you are, do that, and then take the BlueChew and get a penal and get a penal and get a penal enlargement.
The Keno Octane BlueChew, that's a crazy stat.
And then get your penis enlarged, and then you'll all be good. All right, buddy. Everyone, guys, great. Go to man.
Raise this table.
I know exactly. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thank you.
My pleasure.